The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black First brothers and sisters, welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I am your host, Afro Elite. Before we get started on tonight's program, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you do not miss out on any future content. Also, be sure to leave a like, a thumbs up, and share this to a friend or family member or on your various social media platforms, because that really does help the reach and growth of the channel. Let me share this one more time because we've been pretty shadow banned as of late, but we have shots on target. He's always on target, always in here. Let me make sure. Oh man, I forgot to do the thing on the Instagram. Hold on. Let me do that thing on Instagram. Okay, so we're live on No, we're not live on Instagram. Hold on. Okay. Normally I do all of this stuff before. Today has been a day. Today's been a day for me, y'all. So yeah. So we're here. We're doing it. I want everybody, as I'm talking, you guys pile in. How was your weekend? I hope you guys had a good weekend. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. My weekend was very work heavy, very productive. Don't mean to disconnect, but I'm looking at my Instagram, which you guys should be following me on, but I'm looking at my Instagram to make sure I make this post. Normally I have everything ready, but I kind of just got back to the house. So it's, it's something. Okay. We have our sisters in the building. We have our brother in the building. Okay. Let me get started in just 2 seconds, y'all. Just 2 seconds, y'all know. I want to make an announcement before we really get started. Let me make this announcement. So, you all know that Black History Month is coming up. So what I'm doing is I'm having a merchandise sale for the first week of Black History Month. Now, the key thing is the first day, February 1st, that's the first day of Black History Month, it's a 25% off everything sale. Then the next day is going to be 15% off for the rest of the week, which is still a really good deal. That's still a pretty solid deal. But you guys want to catch that 25% off. That 25% off, you guys want to catch that. So make sure mark your calendar, do the Google Calendar, whatever you have to do. Make sure you guys get that done so you don't miss out on the 25% off deal, because that's the deal. You know what I'm saying? The 15% off, that's a deal too, but you want to catch that 25% off. Okay. Let's see who's in here already. I said we got shots on target. Port City, I think. FBA B1, hashtag FBA B1. We have Sedona Show. Can't really see it. Black Like Revelations, B1 to you, B1 to our sisters in here. We have Rachel in here. Keisha in here. Real Women Don't Do Nonsense. So our sisters are showing up heavy. I appreciate you guys for being here. Okay, I've been going through, I would have made a lot more content, but I've been going through some laptop issues. I'm gonna have to get a new laptop like next week, pretty much. So I've been going through that, but regardless, I'm still here. The show's not stopping because we got a subscriber goal, so we're not stopping anything. So that's why we have to be here. Let me make sure I retweet this one more time because we got like 20 people in here. I want to get like a good amount before I really get started. So let me get that done. Okay, just retweeted that. Oh boy. I do have some pre-recorded videos and they're lined up for the whole week. So from today, Monday, all the way to Friday, you guys got content all week coming from me. So y'all don't got to worry about that. I told you I've been busy this weekend, so y'all don't got to worry about that. Okay? Keisha says, I appreciate you, Keisha. I appreciate you, my sister. Now, on to tonight's topic. We've been talking a lot about reparations. We've been making a lot of progress towards reparations, so much so that California is now talking tangibles, now talking numbers. I want us to understand we have to look at everything from a historical point of view. We have to look at everything from a what's that, like a studies type of or statistic point of view. Everything we look at it. Okay. 10 years ago, there was not this much talk about reparations. Now, there have been people who've been pushing the line for reparations for really generations now. And shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson. Okay. He's one of the few who've been pushing reparations for decades. So we've always had people who've pushed for reparations. This has been literally the most consistent push we've had year after year, month after month. We've had a very consistent and clear message on reparations. Now, you've had people come up and say things like, reparations should be gold, it should be Bitcoin, it should be land. We don't need cash. What we need is this, what we need is that. You had tethers come up and they've said things against reparations. You've had a lot of that stuff go on against reparations, okay? And we've found a way to combat that. We found a way to push past that. We even had the reparations rally. I specifically wore this shirt for a reason. We had the reparations rally, made tremendous progress. So much so that politicians, when they're trying to get the black vote, they're being asked about reparations specifically for foundational Black Americans. It's not like they're being asked about reparations and it's people of color, it's a minority thing. They're not being asked about that. We're on specific lineage business. This is what we're on. And all of them, like Stacey Abrams, they have to confront this issue. And if they answer incorrect, then that pretty much goes their political career. Just the same way Stacey Abrams lost. And we predicted that because when we were asking her about reparations, are you for reparations? She said no. And then when she saw she was losing voters, she tried to backtrack and tried to say, oh, I said yes, it sounded like a no, but this is what I'm really for. None of that stuff really meant anything. None of that stuff went anywhere, okay? So the dominant society is in a very bad place for them. It's great for us, it's bad for them. They're in this place where, if you guys know about like basketball, they're in this place where they have the ball in their hand and the shot clock is about to run out. So they have to make a play. They have to shoot the ball, but they're guarded so tough they can't shoot the ball because they know if they shoot the ball, they'll wind up losing the ball to the other team. So they're trying to stall. All of that stalling, oh, it's unfeasible. You guys go home. That used to work on predecessors. I'm not going to say our ancestors because I don't want to disrespect them. But that used to work on certain predecessors that we had where, oh, y'all not going to get it. Forget about it. Go home. That used to work. It's not working anymore. That we're not going to give it to you. It's unfeasible. What about everybody else? Politics don't work like that. None of that stuff is flying anymore. So they're being guarded so tough. Every single issue that is coming up, we say, well, you need to cut the check. You need to do this, cut the check. Every single thing that we talk about, we trace it back to reparations, which is a really, really good thing. Okay. Everything is being traced back to reparations. So much so that now what they're trying to do is they're trying to send agents out and Cointelpro our reparations claim. And I'm going to play for you guys a clip. If you guys haven't seen it, I'm sure you guys have. I'm going to play for you guys a clip and break that down. But before I do that, let me give you a little bit of history. And this is why I said earlier that we have to understand history with this thing altogether. Remember, one of the things in Cointelpro is you're going to have a lot of people, and we can look at the Black Panther movement, for example. You're going to have a lot of people who are going to come out and they're going to be so pro-Black. They're going to be almost militantly pro-Black. They're going to be more pro-Black than they're going to pose, I should say, as pro-black, more than the average person would. They're going to be wearing the red, black, and green. They're going to be wearing, kufis and brother, sister. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with all of that, but they're going to be doing it to the utmost. Okay. They're trying to imitate like the very militant Black Panther leaders. They're going to be out there, with flags and not even guns too. All like, we need our reparations. Y'all be doing this and doing that, and they're going to come out there, and then the dominant society, because they play both sides of an argument, they're going to focus all of the energy, focus all of the screen time, focus all of the highlight attention and pressure on them. And they're going to be like, oh my God, look at them. Look at them. Where do these people come from? And they're going to try to, with skillful manipulation of their media, try to make it seem like these groups of people are the spearheaders of the reparations movement. So when they have them out there, they're going to be like, oh my God, that's the reparations movement. So anytime you Google like reparations protest or anything like that, you're going to get traced back to them. They're going to put them in the front. The same tactic that they did with Black Lives Matter. And I have to explain all of this stuff prior to showing you guys the video, because this is what I was thinking as I was watching this. Prior to Black Lives Matter, there was a lot of protests going on because of unpunished police brutality and injustice towards Black people and anti-Black racism. Now, if you guys don't remember, I do. There's a lot of people who, because it happened a long time ago, but there's a lot of people who might not have remembered exactly chronologically how everything took place. There was a lot of protests all around the nation because of police brutalities popping up. Black Lives Matter, even though it kind of started as like just a hashtag, people galvanized around the hashtag because the hashtag it's easy to share. It's not like no very long drawn out hashtag. It was very simple. It was easily understood, and it got to the point. At least that's what people thought. It got to the point. So what they did was they took all of the real effort in the real work, and they said, okay, now we're going to say all of that is Black Lives Matter. Everything that's like for Black people is Black Lives Matter. And because we framed it as that, and we've had these tethers, because that's really what they are, we have these tethers created, quote unquote, they're the leaders of Black Lives Matter. And as you can see, chronologically, it was about, oh, what about the police? What about Trayvon Martin? Nothing's happening. Eric Gardner, nothing's happening. All of these injustices towards Black people. Then it strayed away from that, and it turned into, well, you can't be pro-Black unless you're pro-gay, and it turned into that. And what about the Black LGBT queer people? It turned into that. They steered it away because they saw ahead of time, like, okay, Black people fighting against police brutality and injustice at the hands of race soldiers, that's not stopping. So they put something ahead of it so that way they can guide it in another direction. Now, thankfully, we've kind of steered the ship back to where it's supposed to be. Nobody this is 2023. Nobody is really taking Black Lives Matter serious. Now, a few years ago, you said anything about Black Lives Matter, they were like, oh, you're a Trump supporter, you're this, you're that. Nobody now is taking Black Lives Matter serious, and they didn't stop the movement. The movement is still going on, and Black Lives Matter is years behind. Nobody is taking that serious. But I want to say that so you guys can understand these are the strategies that they do. So I'm going to show you guys this clip now that I've given you guys some backstory as to what are some of the things that worry me about the tactics of the dominant society. Let me pull this up. for you all. If you guys can, please make sure you guys leave a like too, because that really does help the channel. Let me leave. Where is it? Okay, it's right here. Right about here. Okay, here we go. Now, listen to this very carefully.
Between teeth. Ain't no tiptoe around no damn tulips. Ain't no gaslight. Ain't no sugarfoot. I'm here to tell it like it is. Let's be real honest. You hide behind your blue wall. You hide behind your badges. You hide behind the police force. And police force that coincidentally, if you were black, will kill you just as quick as they'll kill one of us. We've seen it. We've seen it in places like D.C., where black officers have been killed by their own comrades, by other officers. But yet, y'all turn a blind eye. You whitewash our history, and we'll expose every inch, every nook, and every cranny of your history, and expose it for the fullest, and expose it to the truth that it is. You like to whitewash the black man's history. You like to whitewash the red man's history.
Now, I'm pausing it here because he says things like that often. Actually, all throughout this whole thing, the video originally is like an hour or so long, a little over an hour long. And he says, white man, Asian man, brown man, red man. And when he says red man, he's specifically talking about the red Native Americans. One of the reasons why we've made so much progress in recent times is because we've stopped using any inclusive terms whatsoever. Now, we've been advised to use that, you know, everybody's been hurt by America. Everybody's done. Listen, we've been advised to stop that. And now for a large enough of us have stopped using that. And now a large enough of us are checking the people who are actually using inclusive terms. Anytime you see somebody who's like at the forefront, who's all this rah, la, 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 and they use an inclusive term, our like spidey sense kind of just goes off. And we're all like, that's who sent you? Somebody said in the chat room, who somebody, we get like this, it triggers our spidey senses to be like, somebody must have sent you here, because in the black grassroots, the real deal black grassroots, we don't talk like that. We don't say, yeah, and you, the black man and the red man and the Asian man, the yellow man and the brown. We don't do none of that stuff anymore. We don't use the term people of color. Every time we see that, we call that out. We don't use inclusive terms like minority. We don't use inclusive terms like, you know, disenfranchised communities, or we don't really do that. Not in the black grassroots, okay? So when we see that stuff, we all like, you're not really with us. And which you're speaking on some of the things that we're speaking on, but you're not with us, and we know that because your speeches and what you're saying is very disconnected. What they're trying, the white man, the black, look, no other group of people, and I'm not saying they're supposed to, but no other group of people, anytime they've had an issue. Recently, there was some mass shooting from Asian, it's like Asian on Asian crime going on. Nobody was talking about before when they were all like stop Asian hate. They weren't all like stop Asian hate and Black Lives Matter. They didn't do none of that stuff. When they're talking about issues in the Asian community, it's just that. When they're talking about issues in the Hispanic community, it's just that. When they're talking about issues in the Native American community, it's just that. Nobody feels any bit obligated to include any other group of people, especially black people. So when you see a black person get up there with a microphone and be like, yeah, and our black and brown brothers and sisters, everybody like, oh, whoa. You're not speaking you're not up to code. That's off code speak, you know. So we instantly get that who sent you. Oh yeah, let me address some of the super chats because we had a super chat from Doom Mega for the $5 super chat. B1 always brothers, blessed and thank you very much for your support, brother. We have another one. Thank you for sending it because you just reminded me from Derek, $10. B1 brother Afro, B1 brother Derek. Thank you very much for your support. Okay, we're starting to get people in here. They ain't shadow banners that heavy. They haven't done that heavy. Let me fast forward to what really, really kind of threw me off. I'm like, oh my God, somebody really sent these niggas. Okay, check this out.
No. Case in point. Cody
Now, hold on. Before we go, this is Black Lives Matter 757. So that's in the Virginia area. I knew that because 757 is a Virginia, like, what's that thing? Not zip code. What's that thing in the phone? It's a phone number thing. I don't know why the term is slipping my mind, but I didn't know these dudes, and nobody I know knew who these people were. They just popped out of nowhere with this protest for reparations, and they're saying a whole bunch of stuff that we don't say, and we say not to say. Listen to this. Let me put this up, make it a little bit bigger for you guys. And notice too, let me make this a little bit bigger right here. Notice this one guy right here. I don't know what he is, but this is giving me the kind of grand, what's that thing? What was his name? Grand DJ, not DJ. I keep trying to say DJ. Grandmaster DJ or something, Grandmaster J or something. Yeah, Grandmaster J. That's the vibe that this is giving me. The NAFC, something like, I don't know what that thing was called. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This is giving me that exact same vibe. This man is literally just standing around in the middle of everybody. He's the only one in the group who's not wearing a mask. He's just standing around with his hands in his pockets. From what I've seen of the video, now I will admit I have not seen the whole thing front to back, but from what I've seen, and I have seen most of it, I haven't seen him say anything. He's just standing around like this mysterious mob character, not doing nothing. It's weird to me. Why do I always forget to put this up? I don't know why I keep doing it. That's weird to me. And it gives me the vibe that he's like the ringleader. And what I suspect, I'm making this prediction now. What I suspect is that the cameras are going to focus on him. They're going to look at him, and then he's going to get in front of the cameras, and he's going to say some of the same crazy things that I keep Grandmaster J, that guy was saying. He's going to say some of the same things like, yeah, we need HR 40 and we need student debt relief and we need this, or else we just gonna start blasting crackers. He's gonna say something crazy like that. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because why is he the only one not wearing? First off, what are y'all wearing the mask for? If this 2023, ain't nobody really even doing that no more. And then why are you the only one not doing that? Because this is what the dominant society is gonna do. I predict they're gonna look at him. They're gonna be like, "Oh my God, it's the black radical leader of black people. He's the leader of black people." And then they're gonna look at him, and then they're gonna be all like, "What do you have to say?" And he's gonna have to say, "I'm holding America hostage, and if I don't get my HR 40 reparations bill and it's something else, yeah, and it's not just black people, it's black people and brown people and white people and yellow people, and he's gonna do some. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think y'all would be either. I wouldn't be surprised, because this imagery is just weird to me. Okay, before we get started on actually listening, let me show my respects to the super chats that we're getting. Okay, We got ACAB Devil sent a $20 super chat. He says, just to be clear, they ain't with my side of things either. I have no clue who these folks are. I asked around. These sort of groups are all over the country. Sometimes they infiltrate Panthers or just local groups. Yeah, exactly. I'm not surprised that you don't know who they are. Everybody I ask say they don't know who these people are. They've never seen. And I was asking very specifically about that guy. Who is this dude in the middle? Like he's the ringleader of this whole thing. Nobody knew who he was. Now, apparently, doing some research, this is like a whole bunch of different groups. This is like the Fred Hampton Gun Club and this Black Lives Matter group and this group and this group. This is like a whole collaboration of groups that came together to form this thing. But this is weird to me, y'all. This is very suspicious to me. So thank you very much for your $20 super chat. Let me show my respects to another brother. Than Kingsta for the 1999 super chat. He says, speak on it, brother. I appreciate it, and I definitely will. The organization's name, now, that's a good question, Iron Will. The flag says BLM 757. So that's like a sector of Black Lives Matter in the 757 area, which is in Virginia. But when I Googled it, they were talking about these people are also affiliated with, I remember off the top of my head, the Fred Hampton Gun Club and then something else. Okay. Speaking of guns, why are they out there with guns? We don't do this. Okay. Just off of that alone, that's red flags already. Just off of the fact that you're just walking around with guns and all that stuff. The police, keep in mind, I don't care if they got a permit or nothing. Keep in mind, the police are not bothering them. You don't even see any police around. I want you guys to keep that in mind. You don't ever see no place where Black people are really doing any bit of legitimate work where police aren't around trying to bother them or trying to sabotage them. These people are just walking around looking like they're ready for Call of Duty, and you don't see no police around. Even if they got a permit for it, you see police around with the police cars and all of that stuff. They're trying to make it seem like they just, I decided to walk up and I grabbed my gun and I'm just walking around. I'm doing whatever. Rah, rah, rah. And this is going on for a whole hour, and you have not seen a single police officer say one single or even show up in the whole picture. Okay, there's not an officer in sight in this federal area where they're not supposed to be having guns. All of them are armed to the T. Okay, looking like the damn Punisher. I think the one over there, that might be a man or a woman, I can't tell from this distance. They got a Punisher mask, looking like the damn Punisher about to go to war. And you don't see no police. Okay. ACAB he is showing up. Okay, listen, he says for the $10 super chat. Listen, Afro, they're ops because if you look up on News 2, share on YouTube, you'll see them marching with them folks. I'm talking about Toro's gang. Oh, really? That's interesting. I can't say it. I covered that over a year ago. Okay, I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna definitely check that out. I knew something was weird with them, and thank you very much for your super chat as well too. I knew something was real with that. Crystal says they agents, of course. Yeah, very much so, very much so. And this is just based off of the imagery, just based off of what they're looking like right now. I'm not even playing for you all of the BS they're saying. Just based off of the imagery, we thinking we don't do that. We just had a reparations march with thousands of people there. Nobody was there showing off no AK-47s. Nobody was there looking like they were going to go to Iraq. Nobody was there doing that. We were there. We were talking about the message. That was it. There was no need to do that extra stuff. This stuff is so extra, it's very counterproductive. And at this point in time, we know that what they're doing right now is very counterproductive. This is not back during the Black Panther movement when that kind of stuff was necessary. We know that that stuff is not necessary. It is, in fact, very counterproductive now. So now when we see everybody who's doing it, we're looking like, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Let me see. Before we get started, man, ACAB, he's showing up with the super chat. He's saying, I'll tweet the video when I find it. Give me 4 minutes. Okay, yeah, just let me know. Just when you tweet it, let me know in the like tag me or something, or DM it to me, and then let me know in the chat room and I'll pull it up. But let me get to what he was actually saying. What this is the first thing that I saw that sparked my spider sense.
Been missing for almost a year, and he's not worthy of the Amber Alert. What? These matters are important. We are no longer ignorant Negroes.
Reparations in Virginia.
Reparations now. HR 40. Talk about it. It's already in your bill. It's already in your paperwork. This is not something you have to fight for. It's literally already passed the state and the Senate. But we need one of you brave congressmen or women to push it to the front. Y'all scared of backlash? We got your back.
That's on them. That's not on me. I don't know why the video's chopping up like that. HR 40. HR 40. That's listen. There's only so many signs that you can show before I know you're just completely compromised in an agent who've been sent in. Okay. Now, I've said this, and this is how I operate personally. You have to have come from somewhere or have some type of track record before you just pop up just seemingly out of nowhere and expect all of this credibility. Okay. I don't know who these people are. The people I'm asking don't know who these people are. But apparently, whoever this or these individuals are, they're so well connected that they're able to get all of these groups with guns, and they're able to have these protests just seemingly kind of like out of nowhere. With it seems very suspicious to me that they were able to make this type of move and nobody knew who they were prior. That's my thing. Like, what is, if you don't have a history that we can easily look up, how are you all the way this far into the forefront? You know what I'm saying? How is the spotlight this focused on you if nobody knew who you were before? You know what I'm saying? Another thing too, we have to understand that everybody is not necessarily going to be as educated with, you know, the lingo as we are. They're not as educated with some of the tactics that we are. There was some people who got off of the Black Lives Matter thing way later than they should have. I've been off Black Lives Matter for years. I've exposed them. I've talked about them for a very long time. You guys too. I see you guys in the chat room. You guys have been off of that for a very long time also. So what is, like, there were some people like, no, I still like Black Lives, and then they got off eventually. Okay. So there are some people who are intellectually a little bit behind. But there's only so many things you can say that I'm all like, okay, we don't really say that. And then you're saying back to back to back to back to back things that we don't say. So now I'm all like, okay, where do you see any black people that have real legitimate credibility in the movement talk about HR 40? We just need y'all to pass HR 40. Let me I see you, ACW. Okay, I see him. Sent another super chat. I see you. I'm gonna pull it up right now. When do we talk about HR 40? We don't talk about that. We don't brag about HR 40 because we know HR 40 is merely a. You sent it in what, the DMs? Let me see. What did you say? Hold on, let me see something. I'm not seeing it. Did you tag? I don't see it. Did you tag me in it? I don't see it. Let me see. I don't know exactly where it is. Let me see something. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go back. Okay. I don't know where it is. Hold on. Let me see. Oh boy. Oh shit. Okay. I'm not sure where it is right now. But when do you see us doing that? We don't do that because HR 40 is a study. Now, something that I've been wanting to talk about, and I'm kind of glad that we're having this conversation so we can discuss it. People always bring up how the Japanese got their reparations for being forced in the internment camps during World War II after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And there was a study, okay? If we know history, there was a study. After the study, they got their reparations. The thing about that is that the study was really just to kind of polish up the details about, like, okay, where's the money gonna go? Who's all gonna get what? How much of it are they gonna get? Are they gonna get a lump sum? Are they gonna get it in like an annual amount, a monthly amount, a weekly? It was just to polish up the details. It wasn't to study if they're going to get it. That is the difference between the study that the Japanese were getting for their reparations and the study that they're trying to force upon us. This HR 40 is not a study on how they're going to give reparations, okay? Which is only going to be acceptable if it's cash payments. But the study was not how they're going to get reparations. The study is to discuss if they're going to give reparations. HR 40 is not a study on, oh, is it best annually? Is it best monthly? Is it best bi-monthly? Is it best, like, they're not studying that part. This is not the meeting to discuss how they're going to give reparations. This is the meeting to discuss if they're going to have the meeting to discuss how they're going to get reparations. This isn't the sit down at the table to iron the details out. This is, we're going to have a meeting to discuss if it's a yes or a no, and then we're going to discuss how we're going to dish everything out. We're not doing that anymore. And I want you guys to think, when they got their reparations, I think that was in what, the 19, if I'm not mistaken, that was close to about like the 1970s, I believe, when they, don't get me wrong, because I might have my dates mixed up, okay? That was a long time ago, very, very long time ago. Nowadays, they don't really use studies. They don't use studies. I'm checking my Twitter again. Let me see something. Okay, yeah. I got it. Let me see. Okay. Anyway, that was a study to discuss if they're going to give it, right? Nowadays, they don't use studies like they used to, because they had to study, okay, well, if we give this amount of money away, how is this going to affect the economy? Where's the money going to come from? Where are we going to take the money? Like, how much do we give it at this amount, at this point, and this amount, this? They used that back in the day when they were giving out reparations and stuff like that. They don't really do that anymore. Pay attention to the fact that there's no study for Ukraine. Ukraine is, America, the United States of America, has not harmed Ukraine at all, but yet the United States of America is paying reparations to Ukraine. Let me repeat that. The United States of America has not harmed Ukraine whatsoever, yet the United States of America is paying reparations to Ukraine on behalf of Russia. They're doing the same thing when it comes to Iraq and all of the military bases that they put over there and all of the destruction, and they bring them over here by the tens of thousands and they give them reparations. Okay, and one of the videos that are coming up this week that you guys are gonna see soon, all of these illegals that are coming over here, flooding the border, coming over here. You have major metropolitan areas like Chicago, like New York, like DC. They're coming over here and they're gentrifying, and they're the mayors, the Democratic cities, even though the states and the federal government are complicit with this. They're allowing them to break the bank. No studies necessary. They're not even studying the people that are coming over here. They're not even vetting the people that are coming over here. No studies whatsoever necessary. And they're giving millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of resources that could actually be going to either making the city a better and safer place to live, a more prosperable place to live, or that could be going directly to the residents, but instead it's going specifically to these illegals coming over here. No study necessary. They're not studying. They're not saying, okay, well, do we need a study to find out if this is going to be a good investment? We spent $10,000 for you to get a degree. Are you going to work? No study at all. So the time and the days for studies and all of that stuff is over with now. We are far too far behind in the racial wealth gap. And we need something today, yesterday, really, but we need something today that's going to shoot us up into even the playing field. That's what we demand. That's what's old, but that's what we need because of the racial wealth gap that is increasing. They want to talk about how post-racial America is now. They want to talk that way. But the white wealth is increasing as the black wealth is decreasing. So yeah, we all might be socially to a degree, because you still got a whole bunch of Karens and race soldiers and all that stuff out. To a degree, we might be socially more integrated, but the wealth is farther apart than it was 100 years ago. And we need to do something now. We need those resources that really belong to us anyway. We need those resources now, and you guys are giving it to them without any studies necessary. So don't come to us and say, oh, well, we need a study, and the study is to see if we're going to think about giving you guys something. We're not doing that, because all that's going to happen is if they do pass HR 40, which they could have passed if they really, really wanted to. They could have been past that if they really wanted to, but they're stalling because it's like, hey, vote for me. I'm trying the HR 40. They've been pushing this HR 40 hustle all the way up until they can't do it anymore. And then they're going to pass it. Then there's going to be this long, drawn out study. And then they're going to say, well, we found out that black people and brown people and yellow people and red people and then some white people, they all deserve reparations too. Because, I mean, the Irish, they were they not? They're going to do that. Listen, this is why this is why when we're in the movement, it is very important for every single last bit of the messaging for the movement to come from us specifically. Okay? Checking the Twitter again. It needs to come specifically from us. Because if they do it, if these Black Lives Matter individuals, if they do it, they're going to steer the direction away. Just off of the fact that they even got a Black Lives Matter flag. Who does that anymore? At this point, who does that? This is not 2016. Even though we were off that way before 2016, but this is not that time when Black Lives Matter was more socially acceptable. McCoy, I see your super sticker. I'm sorry. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate that. I sincerely do. Okay. None of that's going on. They're not doing that. So these people are agents. Okay, I was going to show you some more, but it's really them repeating themselves. Okay. What we need to do, and I'm still looking these guys up to find out who these guys are. But what we need to do is we need to spot anybody who talks like this, anybody who shows up with guns to anything. because that is going to be used against the progression of the movement. The movement is making a lot of progress. You showing up with guns and you showing up on this rah, that stuff is against the progression of the movement. It's very counterproductive. It is very counterproductive. So anybody showing up with big rifles and stuff like that, very, very counterproductive. Anybody promoting that is counterproductive because that's not necessary. Okay? It's not. Remember too, I said earlier in the broadcast that the dominant society plays both sides of the argument. When I say that, I mean you'll have the right, because a whole bunch of right wing, and I don't really like using the right and the left, but in this example, because they're two like aspects of the system of ABS, anti-black racism, ABR, I'm sorry. The right will say, oh my God, look at them with guns. Oh my God, they're going to harm us and they're going to demand welfare and all. They're going to come like that. Like, oh my God, look at what the Dems are allowing the Black Lives Matter to do. And this is because of all of that rap music that they listen to and the fried chicken that they eat. Oh my God, look, America is falling. They're going to do that. And another very dangerous thing to do, for them to do, is this is going to be, listen very closely, this is going to be fuel. So when they ambush a black person, like how Kyle Rittenhouse did, this is why it's important to know history and never forget it. When, even though Kyle Rittenhouse didn't actually ambush a black person like he wanted to, that's what he came there for. It didn't turn out that way for him. But that's what his goal was. When Kyle Rittenhouse 2.0, when he shows up and ambushes a black person, they're going to use these clips and they're going to be all like, oh my God, you see how radical they are? This innocent little white boy, he was defending himself. This was self-defense. This is going to be their fuel to say, look how irrational and violent the reparations movement is. Now, anytime they're fighting against somebody, they're going to use these clips to try to justify them harming a black person. Let's man, super chat's heavy this week. Cyberdine 100 sent a 1999 super chat. He said, thank you for the energy and the empowerment that you give us, B1. I love you guys, and I appreciate the fact that you guys feel empowered by this, and thank you for the super chat. Let me see. Okay, he said, I sent another video on Twitter where there, directly shows BLM 757 and them boys that are proud protesting together. Okay, I'm gonna look that up. And thank you very much for the super chat, man. He owned it. He is on it tonight. For Melissa, our sister Melissa says, peace, love, and reparations. Peace, love, and reparations to you too. And thank you, my sister, for your $10 super chat. Let me look that up. Okay, hold on. You sent it in a DM. Okay, cool. Okay, let me pull this up. There's always ads anyway. Because y'all know how I get with ads, because ads have music sometimes, and I don't want to have to deal with no copyright issue or nothing like that. So that's what that is. Also too, as we're waiting for this stuff to get up, we're waiting for that. Notice how the left side, they're going to use this to their favor as well too. They're going to be like, oh my God, HR 40, they're the black society, they're demanding HR 40. They're going to act like they didn't send them out there. I'm like, HR 40, oh no, black and brown, oh no, it seems like we got to sign this HR 40. That's what the people want. They're going to look at this and say, hey, this is what the streets said they wanted. This is what they wanted, y'all. They wanted HR 40. Because when Jim Clyburn, or Kamala Harris, when all of them talk about HR 40, we instantly reject that. We're like, no, we don't want no HR 40. Now they need grassroots appearing people to say, yeah, we do want HR 40. So that way they can keep on with the train. Because the thing is with them, they can't afford to leave the HR 40 train. Because they know it's their only real finesse. That's their only real play, is that HR 40 play. and they can't leave that, but we're not allowing that to slide. So what they need to do is they need to prop up these puppets that imitate us, and they be all like, oh, well, if you guys say you want HR 40, I guess, you know, my hands are tied, I guess I gotta give it to you. They're looking at them so they can say, oh, well, we're doing what you guys said, right? Just what you guys said. This is what they're doing. Let me play this one clip, okay? Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go.
President Trump mentioned them during one of the many heated exchanges during last night's presidential debate. Listen in.
Would you like me to condemn
white supremacists and right
Proud Boys? Stand back and stand by.
So who are they, and what does their presence look like here in Utah? The Southern Law Center classifies them as a hate group, and they're one of 5 known extremist groups said to be operating here in Utah. A local chapter of the Proud Boys speaking tonight in downtown Salt Lake City. They say they want to correct the record. Kyle Harvey live downtown, and Kyle, they appeared with a Black Lives Matter leader. That seems like a strange pairing there.
Well, this was a Black Lives Matter leader associated with Black Lives Matter Northern Utah. Now, this is a different chapter than the one you may have seen before on Channel 2. As for the Proud Boys, they say they're out to change the narrative that they're racists.
I don't care what color your skin is. We're all Americans, and we need to find a way to come together instead of divide.
It's a line seemingly at odds with an organization that the Southern Poverty Law Center and the Anti-Defamation League say is a hate group.
We are in no way, shape, or form white supremacists.
What they are, self-described Western chauvinists. What does that mean?
It means that the West is the best. Western civilization is the best. That's our opinion, okay?
Chauvinism is just patriotism, man. Don't get it wrong with like male chauvinism or anything like that.
We are in no way.
Those are 2 different things.
The group was founded by a Gavin McInnes, someone this group's members say is an instigator.
He's a little over the top.
Nazi salutes and N-word and lots of stuff.
Provocateur.
Yeah, provocateur.
Just like Milo Yiannopoulos.
I don't know if y'all seeing what I'm seeing, but so y'all know, because this, listen, most of these, and shout out to our brother ACAB Devil for sending this. Most of these Hispanics, even the ones who are kind of tan, even the ones who have darker skin, they still identify as white. They do. Okay. Studies, statistics back that up. I'm not making that up. That's not a racist thing to say. That's not a discriminatory thing to say. That is what statistics back up. Okay. I'm only speaking about what the facts say. So just because he's here and he doesn't look like a European like the other guy does not mean he doesn't see himself as that. He just sees himself as a dark-skinned Spaniard. And that's what a lot of these Hispanics see themselves as. Dark-skinned Spaniards. And Spain is in Europe. Spain is like one of the OGs when it comes to anti-black racism. So that's what he sees himself as. And to be honest, all of the Proud Boys, they don't really have respect for dark-skinned nothing. But they put him out there talking about, well, yeah, patriotism. They put him out there because they know the optics of it would look a lot worse if it was like a European, British, Caucasian looking person. You know what I'm saying? So they'll put someone who is the face of the camera. The poster boy can be a little bit darker, but you know, he's not really calling the shots behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, he's not calling no shots. He's the person that they put out and say, hey, he's the organizer, he's the head lead. He's not that. He's not that. That woman with the Black Lives Matter shirt and she's just standing there not saying anything. I don't know where her people's from. I'm just saying, I don't know where her people is from. You know, because you don't know, she might identify as white too. I don't know that. And just because she got a Black Lives Matter shirt on, what's that supposed to mean? You can tell a Proud Boy to put a Black Lives Matter shirt on in front of the camera. Do you guys know that some of the Proud Boys, you can Google this, I'm not lying. Do you know that some of the Proud Boys are married with children to black women? Redneck Proud Boys married with children to black women. How do you know? Let's take a closer look at this image right here. How do you know Proud Boys did nothing wrong? Yeah, okay. And then Black Lives Matter. She might be his husband. I mean, no, God, no. It might be. I don't know how they get down, but she might be married to him. He might be her husband. You don't know that. This could be a certified, down, deep-rooted bed witch we're dealing with right here. Okay? We don't know where her people are from. Now, I'm not going to say, I think, because I have no proof. I don't really throw that out there with no proof. I'm just saying, just her, for her being there and the wig, I'm not going to lie, is kind of giving me that, I smell Jollof. I don't know. I don't think you're from here. Like, I'm just saying. I'm not to say, this isn't to say that everybody who's not from here is on this type of nonsense, but this is just me saying, we don't know nothing about who this woman is, why she's here. Okay. We don't know who these people are. This guy, he's got an interview, but he's got a mask on. We know the Proud Boys don't even really get down like that. Why is he the only one with a mask on? Where does he work? Where is he from? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of questions over here. Okay. Let's continue playing this, because we only got like a couple, like 30 seconds, something like that left.
These are guys who are saying the most outlandish things so they get more clicks, so they can make some money.
The group, why do you want to be associated with that?
He's gone.
Yeah, he's not part of the organization.
He's gone.
Yeah. The people left, at least those in Salt Lake City, say they'll link arms with Black Lives Matter.
Meeting and talking and having that understanding was allowed us to move forward with working together on police reform.
Jakari Kelly, the leader of Black Lives Matter Northern Utah, says the partnership is real.
We do need to be able to reach across the aisle and have these tough conversations.
And Jakari
they cut her off real quick. God damn. Damn, they cut her off quick. She didn't say nothing. Oh my God. Y'all see how they did her? They did that on purpose. Y'all see they did that on purpose. Okay. And I'm not caping for her because she shouldn't have been there in the first damn place. But they cut her off real quick. The second she said something, yeah, we need to have these conversations. Back to you, John. Okay, how's the weather? They cut her off immediately. That white dude, he was talking damn near the whole time. The other dude, he was talking a little bit. You can see the hierarchy. Hold on, let me take it back a couple of seconds. Let me take this back a couple of seconds. So y'all can see this is what Channel 2 News is doing with the hierarchy. Okay. This guy, the dude with the Proud Boy shirt on, with the mask, he's doing most of the talking. Okay. Then the guy over on the other side, who's supposed to be like the leader, quote unquote, he did the second amount of talking. Then the black woman in the middle, finally at the end of the news thing, finally gets a chance to say something. And in the middle of her statement, they cut her off. If y'all didn't peep, let me play it back. If y'all didn't peep that, let me play that back.
We do need to be able to reach across the aisle and have these tough conversations.
She was not done. Damn, there's no love among bedwinches, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Roy tells me that she
Hold
recently
on.
went
I'll
to
play the other
Portland
video.
with the Proud Boys, met with some of their senior leadership. She described it as a productive conversation. Mark, back to you.
Oh my God. Okay. Damn. I ain't even let her talk. Not that she needed it, not that she deserved it, but they didn't let her talk. Okay. Also, too, notice how now the news is supposed to be like the Channel 2 News. That's kind of like the left-wing news. This isn't really Fox News from what I understand. It's supposed to be leaning more towards like the liberal left and all that. Notice how they don't ever like show the Proud Boys with like LGBT. Notice that. They don't show the Proud Boys with them. They don't show the Proud Boys with the J community. They'll show the Proud Boys with black people. They're saying stuff to give the Proud Boys a good light. They'll say stuff to give the Proud Boys a good light. They don't really emphasize when the Proud Boys ambush black people, when the Proud Boys delete black people. They don't really go 10 toes into that. They don't really go into that. They make it seem like all of that stuff is all alleged and all that. They did this because they want the Proud Boys to be looked at in a good light. And this actually goes to show who are some of the individuals running these Black Lives Matter organizations, these groups, these people who pop up with guns. There's no police around. Like this is some well-orchestrated publicity stunt. And you see later that these people are still connected with the Proud Boys. Now, damn, another super chat. This man just breaking the bank. I appreciate it. ACAB Devil says, anytime you see BLM 7757 or groups with Pan-African flags and heavy arms, like, yeah, exactly. The whole optics like that, they're ops. Absolutely. It's a red flag altogether. Many don't believe, this is many don't believe I had that video, but you all saw it. Yeah, it's deeper than many of you guys realize. It is. A lot of these people, yes, it is. A lot of these people, they'll get there and then they'll say, Stephanie says she looked like a fool. Yes, she does. She absolutely did. She looked like a damn token idiot. They didn't even let her finish her statement. She didn't even get one statement clear. In the middle of speaking, they cut her off. Okay? Looking like an idiot, looking like a fool. There are red flags that we have to look out for. Okay? People are looking at this like this is a bad sign. This is actually a sign that we're winning. This is actually a good sign because they wouldn't need to make this play if we weren't making sincere progress. They wouldn't need that, okay? They're making this play because of the progress that we're making. I want you guys to understand, Cointelpro was only necessary because J. Edgar Hoover feared the black movement so much. J. Edgar Hoover, he was worried about Malcolm X. He was worried about Dr. King. He was worried about the Black Panther Party. He was worried about all of them, and I'm just naming a few, but he was worried about every single last one of them. He was like, we need to get rid of them. They are the biggest threat to American security. Something like that he said. They're our biggest threat right now. They're our number one priority at this very moment. Okay. COINTELPRO would not be necessary if it was just a fringe group of people like they used to call us who are just rah-rah for reparations. Okay. That all of this publicity, all of these stunts and stuff like that they're trying to do to steer us away from our direction, it would not be necessary if we were not heading in the right direction and heading faster than they can counter. So this is a good sign. One of the things that we need to look out for, anytime you see black people talking about HR 40, your spidey senses should go off instantly. Be like, no, wrong answer. Okay. Anytime you see black people on some black and brown, people of color, what about the red? No, wrong answer. Okay. Even, and we do understand that some people are coming into their consciousness a little bit later on than other people. Because let's be real, everybody in the movement today were not as conscious as we were today 10 years prior. We weren't. Let's be honest. A lot of us, not all, but a lot of us weren't. There were still some people who were voting for Obama. There were still some. Okay, so we understand that everybody wasn't born with this like library full of knowledge and consciousness. We understand that. But what sends the red flag is not that they're off, because there's a lot of us are off. I'm going to be honest, most of us are not where we're supposed to be. Now, we have a critical mass, really, but most of us, the majority, is not where we're supposed to be consciously and politically. So we can understand that and give a degree of grace to that. The thing is that when they're not where we are consciously, but somehow they made it to the front of the line and they have the microphone. That is where the red flag comes in. Where did these, because to set that up the way they set that up, I want you guys to understand when Tariq was setting up his the rally the first time, they gave him a lot of pushback, so much so he couldn't do it. Then he had to do it the second attempt, in which it happened in November. You know, that stuff takes a lot of setup, that takes a lot of security, that takes a lot of all of that stuff. Okay. And you still had, you know, security, all of that stuff. And there were no guns, there was nobody out there with rifles or nothing like that. And he still had to do all of that preparation, all of that setup, had to go there beforehand, had to get all of that stuff beforehand. And Tariq is very well known as far as these reparations are concerned. These people, nobody knew who these people were. These people are not well known, and they're showing up with guns, AKs, and all of that stuff. No police around. How did they get to the front? How are these people getting these? And we can talk about last year too with that other reparations rally that was much, much less successful. But we can talk about that. How are these people just coming out of nowhere, getting to the front of the line? That's a red flag. That my spidey senses are going off with that. Nobody knows who you were, and you just got the connections necessary to pull this off. This seems very suspicious to me, because the people who've been here, we get pushback and we don't get the connections. We should have the connections and we don't have them. And y'all just come up with like, hey guys, I got millions of dollars and all these guns. You want to grab one? Like, I don't know. I don't trust that. Okay. Them coming up and they're talking about, yeah, what we need is HR 40. This is Democratic talking. What we need to do is we need to get HR 40 passed, and then we need to vote for Joe Biden for his second term and Kamala Harris for her second term. You know what I'm saying? And we need black and brown and vote for Stacey Abrams. Too much Democratic talking point. That's a red flag too. To be totally honest, I'm gonna send down my personal red flag. Anything but Black Lives Matter, I'm just signing out. I'm just being real with you. Anything BLM, Black Lives Matter, I'm signing out. Okay, either you're an op, which most likely you are. I'm gonna say like about 70% you're just an op with Black Lives Matter. I'm gonna keep it real. And then the other 30%, you're just too far behind in the movement. You're all the way back in like 2014. We're in 2023. You're too far behind. You need to do a lot of reading and catching up. Okay. Nothing you say is credible if you got some Black Lives Matter. I'm going to give you another red flag, and this might offend people. The Pan-African flag is a red flag. Gotta say it. It is. It's a red flag. As Foundation Black Americans, we understand the necessity of delineation. We understand the need to delineate, especially when it comes to reparations. Not the fact that we don't love them, not the fact that we're not Black first, not the fact that we don't want them to have their own reparations, but we understand we can't just, we're too far behind that. I'm not going to say everybody who has a Pan-African flag, they're ops. I'm not saying that, because you do have some good-minded people who still do believe in that. But to be totally honest, you guys are either ops. I'm going to keep it real. To me, it's about like 50-50 with this one. Either they're ops or they're just too far behind in the movement to be progressive. They're too far behind in the movement to where everything they're saying now is counterproductive. Everything they're saying, they got the Umar Johnson thing. Umar Johnson is too far behind in the movement, especially when it comes to reparations. He's too far behind in the movement to be of any progress. So either you're like and I'm not saying that Umar is like a government op, but his mentality is too far behind. He's counterproductive. Either way, we can't use him as far as reparations. You're either you're a paid operative, or you're just counterproductive because you got your own personal little agenda, and a lot of that comes from like a tether background. A lot of that we see comes from a tether background. Got to keep it honest. So Either way, we can't use you. That's a red flag. Either way it goes, either one side or other, red flag. BLM, one side or another, red flag. Doesn't matter. So we got to be very careful with these Cointelpro tactics that they're pulling up. We have to be very careful with that. All right. Let me give a show my respects to another super chat. The super chats are heavy today. For the $4.99 super sticker, sorry, from Q2Wise. I appreciate your super sticker. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Okay. It means a lot, and it really does help progress this channel. But all of that stuff is red flags. I'm going to do more research to find like exactly where these people are from. But to be honest, I'm not really, no. I'm not really, like, to me, if you're going to speak on reparations with a microphone and everything like that, you got to be well known. And I'm not saying I got to know you or whatever, but if you got a microphone in your hand, you need to have somebody with credibility to vouch for you. We got a thing in like, and I don't want to get like too far into this type of subject, but we have a thing in our community where people are coming in, like, for instance, let's say, for an example, let's just say like a hood or something like that, or a gang, for example, you come in, somebody got to vouch for you. You can't just walk up in anybody's hood and just be doing whatever, making a bunch of noise. Everybody gonna start looking like, hey, whose man is this? Where's they gonna look, hey, where you from? You gotta have somebody, oh, I'm what's the name cousin? I'm with him. And then that person gotta be like, oh yeah, that's my people. He'll that's gotta be how that is. You can't just come in the establishment making a bunch of noise and nobody knew where you're from. That sends everybody, the spider senses goes off with everybody. Oh, okay, you're an op. You were sent here. Because even if you were like a rival or something like that, I know my rivals. I don't know you. You just coming over here and you can't just come over here and blend in. They don't allow people to do that. Before you even get into a gang, you got to get vetted by the gang. And I'm not advocating that, because we're very, very separated from that. We're not a part of no gangs or anything. I'm just talking about the mentality of new people coming in and nobody knowing where they're from. It does not work that way. And they damn sure don't get a microphone. Even the newbies, they don't get no microphone. That's very weird. For these people to have a microphone, they got masks on their face. You don't know where they're from. This is in 2023. I don't even know who's wearing masks outside in 2020. If you would have showed me this picture and you would have said this was early 2020, I'm like, I can kind of buy it. In 2023, it's the further, yeah, that's a red flag to me. I don't know. Curly Girl says, they need to stay there. Their time is marked. I knew he was going to be in the fort. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Crystal says they must be FBA. That's the thing too. We can't have these non-FBAs coming up thinking that they can vouch for us or speak on behalf of us or behalf of reparations. What y'all can do, y'all can signal boost what we say. That's pretty much all y'all can do. Y'all can signal boost what we say, and y'all can check your people when they say something off. That's y'all lane. And that's good. We salute y'all. We love y'all for that. That's what y'all do. As far as being the spokesperson, if you not FBA, you need to take a seat. That's what it is. If you're non-FBA and you're insisting on speaking, that's a red flag to me, to be honest. Because as a non-FBA, you should understand this is where I fit best in the movement. This is what I need to be doing in the movement. But the non-FBAs who are very insistent on speaking on this issue is kind of, it's not like a big red flag, but it's kind of like a yellow flag almost. I don't know don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like that. That's how I'm looking at it. That's what they need to do. So we got to be aware of that. We have to be on code with everything. We can't let these tactics work for any of us, any of our movements. This shows how desperate they are, brothers and sisters. And it shows how much we're winning. We are winning. We are making progress. We are succeeding. Okay? So honestly, it's almost a good thing. It's a good thing because it shows you it's like a status. It shows you the status of who's really making the progress, of how much progress we're making. You know, that's kind of how I'm looking at the situation. All right. But we've been on here. I'm trying to keep my lives to about an hour. I've been going overboard like last few weeks now. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, brothers and sisters, please make sure, if you guys are watching in a comment, like on a playback, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you guys are here, we got a bunch of people in here. Please make sure you guys leave a like, because we're being shadow banned. We're being, pushed down in the algorithm. We're trying to get that up. We're trying to make this channel really, really blow up this year. So I need all of you guys' support. Y'all been showing a ton of support in the super chat and in the comment section and everything lately. So sincerely, I appreciate you guys. If we can keep this consistent, we can definitely blow this channel up this year. I guarantee it. I stand by that. We can do that this year. So I'm doing the best I can all week long. Y'all gonna have content. Y'all don't have to worry about 2 times a week. We done with that. We're 2023 now. We ain't doing no 2 content things a week. We ain't doing that no more. Okay, we doing content Monday through Friday at the least. Okay, so that's what we on going forward. That's what I'm giving y'all. So I'm hopefully you guys can show y'all support, and y'all can come up and y'all can like and y'all can comment and y'all can share and y'all can do all of that stuff, and together we will blow this channel up. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. Okay, you said we got you, brother. Well, thank you, sis. I appreciate that. Okay. Also too, if you guys are coming in late, we are having a sale on the merchandise for the first week of Black History Month. Now, the first day, which is, and let me just double check, the first day is, yes, a Wednesday. So on Wednesday, the sale is 25% off for one day only. And then after that, for the rest of the week, it's 15% off, which is still a good deal. If you can't make the 25, the 15, that's still pretty sweet. But, and I'm working on some new designs coming out too, but you want to get that 15% off. I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of time so you guys can save that and get that ready. So mark your calendars for that date so you guys don't miss out on that. Okay, if you guys have not done so, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all for being here. Hopefully, you all had a good weekend and a good day. I will catch you guys tomorrow with a premiere broadcast that I've already recorded. It's already set up, already ready to go. And throughout the rest of the week, I will see you guys tomorrow. Brothers and sisters, y'all be safe out there. Be aware, be on code, and salute to every single last one of you.